we should be good to go, I think. I should get this out of the way. Do you have any green tape nearby? No. Eh. Camera, please come back to me. There we go. I'm gonna do more side quits first. Camera's really far, isn't it? Let me move it a bit since I'm not working on embroidery today. There we go. Side quest is making a smaller pattern of this. Because I thought I made the X small enough, and it's not small enough. So that is on me. And tape measure here. Got it. I think I removed like half an inch. An inch seems to be quite small. But there is the half inch of the fur itself. Alright, I do think I might need to take it all the way down to an inch. That is ridiculous. No wonder I didn't make it that small. Yeah, no, that looks way too small. That feels right. I've got commission for pin layers, and I only have like one picture as a reference. Not even something mirrored. I made an attempt, and it's upstairs, and I end up unpicking it because it didn't feel right. When I compared it to what the commission sent, I'm making it even smaller, which would be this is small, this is X small, and this is large. Yeah, the grading seems about appropriate. Alright. Here we go. I'll be able to cut that on another day. I still have about a week to work on it. I was in a rush. And I decided today would be a hobby day, not a work day. Because I really needed one. Camera, here I am. I'm dragging things to lose me when I get up. Alright, so today the plan is to assemble the new pattern I printed. Which is this one. Which means today it's gonna be mostly these two fronts together. And we'll try and trace it if we still have enough energy afterwards. I am not convinced that's gonna happen, but you know, one step at a time. I need them ASAP, but at the same time, I'm not in a rush because that's just for me. And yeah, I already pre-cut the pattern, so I'd be able to assemble it quick. This printable pattern is really well made. I love having the grid. It's so much easier. But I might also just be getting used to printing my own patterns. You know, that's a thing. But they're really well marked. You even have the assembly guide here. We're showing A1 to F5 how they should be aligned. Just puzzle making with fabric. Yeah, I don't need to make this super fast. It's just that I've been wearing corset almost every day and I only have one, which means that I do need to have absorbent underlayers made either of linen or cotton. I don't want to be stuck trying to wash it every week. So I don't make metal boning, rust, too fast for no good reason. So I'm gonna test it out with a fabric that I know I'm gonna use, but it's not gonna be a final one. I'm probably gonna make a white set and a black set, because that's just underwear, and you should change your underwear frequently, right? I'm planning on making more corsets in the future, but this I'm gonna need it for lasting through the summer because it's already hot and I'm wearing whatever t-shirts and pants I already own to put underneath my corset, and that's not very breathable because most of it is polyester because it's old shirts I bought when I was in high school. And it is not made to last me through the summer. And I have some, like, two summer shirts I've made last year, the year before, maybe a few years before that. So if I use those underwear, I only have 2 days. And that doesn't include the pants. They're just short shirts. So I need this very, very much. And I don't think it's gonna be super hard once I get the gist of it. I haven't ordered the fabric yet because I want to make a mock-up first. I don't think a mock-up is gonna be needing very much modification since these are loose-fitting garments, they're not like corsets. But you know, might try it out first, see how I feel about it. If it's too hard, or, you know. You don't test a recipe the day before you host. Kind of feeling. And I have a knit cotton 100% that has stripes on it. I absolutely love it. I've made a few clothing pieces out of it. So I'm gonna make the chemise out of that. And I have some pants I made an attempt at a few years ago that are cotton, that are getting ripped in the crotch, and they're very ill-fitting because I didn't know what I was doing. So they're just PG pants. I'm gonna unpick those and change them to drawers. The pattern is for split drawers, but I'm not gonna make them split because I'm planning on wearing them as PJs in my house. Even though they're meant to be undergarments, because I'm still gonna be wearing undergarments under my historical clothes. Because I'm not planning on wearing all of the right layers. I'm not gonna have petticoats, and I'm not gonna be wearing big dresses. I'm literally doing this so I can have it as part of my everyday clothing. Yeah, my first side is probably gonna be white. Because I'm trying to get something I can wear with everything without it showing too much. That's why I made the corset a skin color. And then the second set is probably gonna be black, because I'm planning on making it gut corset too. Then I'm gonna be wearing as outerwear instead of undergarments. For more of a Renfair look. But before I get to that corset, I have a commission that's not a commission. My boyfriend has asked me to make him a corset vest. And that's gonna be a priority above making myself a gut corset. Because it deserves to be comfy too. And yeah, it for like Christmas last year. He knew you wouldn't have it for Christmas because he asked it at Christmas. When I was done with the beige corset I'm wearing today. I'm gonna try and do it for next year's Christmas, which still gives me quite a few months. But I'm planning on making 2 of them, because I also want a corset. Which shouldn't be that hard, because once you've already tried the pattern, at least you know what you're doing. I'm gonna have to do 2 mock-ups, but that's mostly for a sizing issue. And then he's gonna have to decide on a design, which is gonna be the hard part, because he is absolutely not used to that kind of thing. He's not into fashion. He tends to buy practical clothes, like from Costco. And the clothes that he loves, he can't wear for work, because it wouldn't be seen as professional. I can't just go the corset that he would love, because he's gonna want to wear it at work on the days where his back hurts. Which means it needs to fit with most of his other clothes. I suspect we might need to go for a black or like a charcoal look. Probably not brown, because most of his shirts I think they're blue and gray. So black or charcoal would fit. But if I was doing him a corset just because he loves it, I'd probably make him like a burnt orange because he absolutely loves orange. But flashy orange is not work appropriate. I could make a burnt orange vest for him, but the problem is his work shirts wouldn't match. Because burnt orange and blue, oof, yeah, not the best. I think mine will probably be charcoal, because I'm thinking of reusing some fabrics I already have on hand. And I do have some charcoal fabric for a very weird reason, which is I have plenty of cosplay that I won't fit in anymore. And I don't wanna... Nobody wants to buy the cosplays. Because I'm not known enough. And I don't want to send the fabric to the landfill because it's good fabric. So I think I'm gonna go and unpick it. It's dressed, so I should have plenty enough fabric to do the corset vest. But I had to check it. So I'm gonna be cannibalizing a little project of mine. I'm slowly starting to think about doing those things. Because I've got way too much stuff that I'm not using, that's not making me happy, that's gathering dust. I don't want to throw it in the landfill. What do? Reuse the damn fabric. Do something else with it. And dresses and kimonos shouldn't be all that hard to reuse. I've even been thinking of making a new summer PJs for my boyfriend by doing that. Because he bought one kimono style, like summer work kimono style last year and he really loved it. And he has a long kimono I made it for him a few years ago for conventions, and he wore it once. I know it's probably too fiddly for him to wear it without me helping. And it's not something you can just wear around when you're not used to it, because it's just a long dress. And it gets caught in everything. I think I'm gonna get it and check the pattern from what he already has, what he bought, and copy it from the fabric I used for his old kimono that he is not wearing. So I have a lot of work ahead of me. I don't think all of that is gonna be this year kind of work. But since I'm working for fun, because I want to, a fairly large list doesn't sound heavy anymore. Just doing what I want when I feel like it. It's just a hobby again. And the hobby is making myself and my husband pretty. Dang. I feel like a noble. I hope I'll have enough tape. When I tried to print this, I realized I'm completely out of printing paper. Isn't the camera way too close to me? This works great when I'm working on something small, but this is very big. Let me adjust that. Right. Lift it up. Lift it up. I think I'm gonna go for what I used to do. I'm gonna tape it to the ceiling. Give me a second. I haven't done it for a while, so when I would have started with it. Well, I didn't think that I was working on small projects lately. I didn't do my setup right. you go. Now you can see more than just one page at a time. I can move this back in. Wasn't stuck in something? Oh, it's stuck in my fabric. Fill. I know what fill. It's just my paintbrush box. Here we go. I'm gonna need to find some place else to put my larger bolts. That should work. Next time I'll be more ready and I will change where my camera goes. Because I was matching already pre-weight marking and it seems I really need to push it back. That's fine, I don't mind. Alright, let's get going. Sorry for the delay. That's what happens when you stream like once a month. But I made an upgrade for my stream. You might not see it, but I did. I finally managed to make a screen share app work. Now I can control my workshop screen from my shitty laptop downstairs. Which means it's easier to adjust stuff midstream, like the lighting or the camera. Please come back onto me. Thank you very much. And I can hear the music you're hearing. This means I can hear my notifications. I can be aware when my music has stopped part ways. I can realize the lighting is iffy and move it without having to go upstairs to check it. So it's gonna make my life much easier. But you're probably not gonna realize the difference. I thought I was gonna be starting to trace the pattern today, but I have to stay awake until like lunch tomorrow, maybe even until 5 tomorrow, and I've been awake until 5. I've woken up around 5, which means I have to be awake for 24 hours today. But if I want to start tracing the pattern, I'm gonna have to take my measurements again. And I don't feel quite comfortable doing that on stream. So I might do that off camera and trace the pattern next time. But if I still have some energy after taping all of the pieces together, what I think I might do is get the old PG pants I made out of cotton and start seam ripping it. Gonna be very interesting to watch, but that's one step that is gonna need to be done anyways, and I need to stay awake. I know that not a lot of people are really likely to get my stream at this time though. I'm not expecting anyone to stay awake with me. I'm still doing it on the stream because after that I can post it on YouTube and show like the full process of how to make a thing. And since I'm not very good at keeping traces otherwise, like taking photos and making social media posts, I'd rather just start my camera at a random time and have no one watch me. Let's get everything out of the way, because I have to start taping pieces together. Take whole dang table. One of the reasons why I moved the camera further away. look at this, you wouldn't have seen anything. Besides the top of my head, of course. But I'm not sure seeing if I have a healthy spell is useful or entertaining for anyone. I know that was making noise, but I think it's the camera tracking that's making noise. Alright. Much I can do about that. This probably just tracking my boobs right now. And be together. Fish. Honestly, I don't know how I'm gonna be able to attach all of those together. I might need to do that on the floor off camera too. Because as you can see, that's not gonna fit on my table. That just won't. Shouldn't have dated. Seems like the sides were getting too off-centered. So I'm gonna start from the middle. By the way, if you're searching for this pattern too, this one is from Truly Victorian on Etsy. I was searching for one that had both chemise and drawer, but there were also options for if you want to be a combination, or if you just wanted a few chemise or crescent covers. I wanted the shirt and the pants because it's gonna be my everyday homewear, which means you're very, very likely to catch me streaming in that set. Like the fact that I'm just barely covering the front of my corset with my reprint today. But I couldn't be bothered to put a shirt on top of the shirts because it's getting quite warm at home. I was wondering why I didn't have my bottom line on, and the reason is because they weren't in the right order. Easy enough to fix. I have the same problem on this one that I did the other pattern. I don't really want to untape this, so maybe I'll untape this part here, because that's not touching any of the pattern pieces. So then if I rip some of the grid, it'd still be plenty readable. Yeah, it seems it's doing sort of a fad. Straight. If I line it up here, there is a slight burning effect. It'd be fine. Like I said, this is an fitted garment. It's not gonna matter in the grand scheme of things. I've also given up making things perfect, because that just makes you anxious. It means you don't get anything done, which means you also don't get any better at doing the thing, because you're not doing the thing. Doing something shitty is better than not doing it. Even if some people are gonna tell you, what's the point of doing it if it's not better than just buying it? Because you learn, damn it! And also, you can customize it to however you like it. And also, if I had to pay someone how expensive I'm making my stuff paid, I would never be able to afford this. Alright, I'm not gonna assemble the panels together just because I don't have the space. It's gonna be needed to do on the floor. However, I do have the doors that also need to be assembled. I'm very far from being done. I also need to adjust this storage because I have patterns, but I also have like plans and memories, and this is printed bracelets, and I've got I think I have crafts here, which is when I tried to make dragon horns, but then I gave up on because I couldn't figure out how to make the mold work with the price I was planning on selling them. This is just a box, so I'm probably gonna make a separate one for just the patterns that I have printed. But this is like 3 patterns that I've printed. Corset, undies, and pirate shirt. And it takes all of it. So I'm gonna have to start being more organized than this. First attempt. I mean, I already have another one, but it's such a mess that I don't remember the last time I opened it. This makes a lot more sense in my brain. And I know I probably have a few more of these, so I might need to order like the plastic ones. But that's it. I think I even have still like more space for at least another pattern in there. But I don't think I have any more of the plastic sheets. Oop. So yeah, this one would be the pants. Sure. Let's start on it. This is not the kind of thing that's hard, it's just the kind of thing that takes a while. If I had more money last time, I would have gotten it printed somewhere instead of doing these steps myself, because it would have been one single sheet. But I am part of the rare type of people who has a lot of time but no money. What do? You take the cheaper option. That takes a while to do. And that is fine. I am not in a rush. I've been really living slow life. Everything is now just a hobby. And my work is being a stay-at-home spouse. Because making food, making sure the house is clean, making calls, make reservations, that's my job. That's what I'm paid for. This doesn't bring a revenue. And it's way too many steps if I want to make it bring a revenue, because you've got to be your own IT, your own marketing, your own social media team. So you got to make money to make money, I guess, which isn't gonna happen. If the past few years have taught me anything, but it was better before COVID. Now just people can't afford stuff. And hobbies are the first thing to go. I have someone kind of goer who used to go everywhere, and he's gonna start cutting back because he can't afford the gas anymore. So should I expect people to buy my stuff when I'm making them pay like $20 an hour when I'm in a workshop? I don't think so. That's not gonna happen. I've been very lucky at the last convention because someone decided to buy some of my more expensive items, but that doesn't happen every time. Until the very last day, I couldn't cover the price of my table, and it's a local con, so I didn't even have to pay for a hotel. And it's the same for a lot of craftsmen that try and go to self-kinds. A lot of people aren't making money anymore. And the cons are getting more and more expensive to have a table at. And even just getting a table is more expensive. Not but more complicated because somehow there's more people who want to sell, but there are not enough attendees. So the ratio is off. Am I gonna try and make money from my hobbies while we're in a recession? The answer is, it's not worth it anymore. It's not worth it. People will keep paying for things that are useful to them. Like a plumber. But not for a handmade mask. And that's fine, I get it. If I was still where I was in my life 3 or 4 years ago, I also wouldn't. The only difference is that I know how much time something takes. I do value art and crafts, craftsmen. I won't go and say it's too expensive. I'm gonna say I can't afford it right now, which is quite different. One being I'm broke, the other one being your stuff isn't worth it. But even me, when I gave up working during COVID, I was giving money to 3 or 4 Patreons. And the first thing I did when I stopped working is cancel the Patreons I was following. Because they're hobbies. Even this is a hobby. I could just stop doing it. And but also, everyone needs money for their clothing. It's like getting better food. You're gonna need to eat regardless. And I'm not someone who goes shopping. I buy like coats and shoes. And I mend most of my clothes. I probably bought like 5 items last year. 2 of them which were probably shoes. I bought some American Duchess shoes and I bought a big pair of gut shoes, though I think the gut shoes were the year before. That would mean just the American Duchess. I haven't bought any coats lately. I haven't bought Christmas wear, which I normally do. When I buy when I bought the gut boots, I also bought a shirt. But like I said, that's 2 years ago, so I just bought the American Duchess shoes last year. Might have bought running shoes and like $20 pants for yoga. This is my clothing budget. Just that I get it in a puzzle format first before I get to wear it. Because if I was trying to wear the same thing, it would be more expensive than my budget. Also, by doing it myself means I can make 2 or 3 of the same item if I really love it. Once I've learned the pattern, I can make it my size, since I am plus size. Shoulder starting to do whatever it wants again. But I am not done working. Maybe I should go and rub my sleeves. Actually, I probably should. I just don't like wearing them. Damn it. It feels like wearing condom. I'm gonna stop having to be a toddler. You're an old woman. Be good and take care of yourself. Oops. There we go. No more being a toddler in my brain. If it means I don't have to take Advil and my shoulders not fucked tomorrow, I should just do it. Like knowing exercise is good for you, but hating exercise. That's the exact same feeling. Like, I know I should. I don't want to, but I should. I don't know why some grades are larger than others. Well, I print them one shot. So they should all be the same size. But they're just tiny bit mismatched. Like one got printed at 100% and then the other one at 101. See, like the line doesn't go straight. And I'm sure it's a me problem, not a pattern problem. That's why I could have gotten printed with like staples, and it would be right. But no, I've got time, but no money. So I do it myself on my home printer. Also, I don't have to wait after anyone. And I don't have to make sure, like at the printers, that they are printing the right size. Because when you do it yourself, these patterns, they come with a page that has a rectangle on it, and you measure it to make sure you're printing the size that it's meant to be printed at. You first print that rectangle, figure out the right parameters on your home printer. And then, and only then, do you print the other 100 pages. After that, you have to go in and cut on the lines. The thing that's tempting to do is to cut on every line or on every border, but that makes taping much harder. So I suggest to cut just two sides. You pick which. I've picked the top and the left only. Except when for the border, where I also did like the other side. Like on row F, I did the bottom because it was the bottom row. There's no more guide after that. But if I didn't keep this piece here, I would need to go one side to the next instead of having something to tape to. And then you can tape the back like I'm doing. Yeah, that's just my boning getting into my arms. Alright. I was wondering what I was feeling. I was thinking it might be the pin in my apron. But nah, it was just the boning. Makes sense. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm taping the back with green tape, the answer is very simple. I don't think I have nearly enough of this one to finish everything. And it doesn't really matter if it deteriorates because it's not the final thing I'm gonna be working off of. And if I need it, I can always reprint it later. So painter's tape, perfect for this. And since I buy those in like 5 packs, I already have plenty handy. I use them all the time. Like you saw, I used it earlier to tape my camera to the drawing. just ate lunch and I'm getting hungry again. I've been hungry so much this week, I have no clue why. I've been wanting all of the fats and all of the protein and all of the salt. And I have no clue why. And like, I think I've been having it all of it. Like more than my usual. Because normally when I get a craving there's a reason for it. But I'm kind of not finding the reason this week. Like, I ate dinner 1 hour max before starting the stream, which would mean like 2-3 hours ago. And I had 2 eggs, a bowl of rice, and a soup. I shouldn't be starving already. I could be having a snack, like a handful of M&Ms. That sounds like the end of the roll of tape. And I still have 2 pages. What am I gonna do? And then I also have the rows I need to tape. Ooh! I might not be able to do it. But I am going out in like 2 days. As long as I remember to buy it, I'll be able to assemble the rows before the next time I'm on the stream. I've got brunch on Saturday, which is the reason why I'm trying to not go to sleep tonight. Because I've been falling asleep from like 7 AM to 5 PM. And that's not gonna allow me to go and have brunch with my friend at 11 on Saturday. Which means I can't be going to bed tonight at 11 AM. I do the Skype reset very often, probably once a month. It's technically not good for you to do that, because it just makes things worse. The thing is, I was doing that when I was a teen. It's not gonna be repaired, ever. It's too late to fix it. And that's also one of the reasons why having a 9 to 5 doesn't really work for me. Because I never know when I'm gonna be able to sleep and when I'm gonna be able to be awake. Or I can like try to talk it out. But that means I always feel tired. Arrow. Because I never keep my inner sleep schedule. I have to force myself to go to bed, or I have to force myself to wake up. And both of those don't really work. And they just make me sicker and sicker and sicker because I never get enough rest. Which is one of the reasons why I've been looking for door dashing maybe. For that, I need to learn how to drive. And for that, I need to be able to make phone calls. Yay, being neurospicy. How much does it fuck your life? Yes, is the answer. The best setup would be for me to have stay-at-home work with flexible work hours. That doesn't exist all that much. Especially since, well, most of my previous work has been in the service industry. As either cashier, salesman, a server, or a cook. You do not get a work from home with flexible hours in those areas. Which means this is what makes most sense as a work, but also the current capitalistic era doesn't make this a viable work option. But I'm lucky enough to be able to be a stay-at-home spouse. That is the current viable option. I'm very lucky that I found a spouse that I do have. And that I've been with him for 10 years now. And that we kind of have the inverse spicy problems. He wouldn't be happy staying home, and he crashes at home. We can take care of the day-to-day tasks. So the only problems that we do have is the fact that I don't contribute to society, which isn't good in my brain. But that's just capitalist guilt. That has no reason to be there. It's just that you can't unlearn stuff like that. Well, I mean, you can, but that's something you have to learn long term. You don't feel guilty, to not feel like you're a weight, to not feel like you're useless to everyone. even my father's not really happy with what I'm doing with my life. Because I am financially dependent from someone and I will be in trouble if he ever leaves me. I will. But that's the same as everyone who's been a stay-at-home parent. Except we do frequent check-ins with each other, verify if like the other person does feel like a burden. And what we would do if we had financial issues, constant check-ins of what we want for the future, where we're at. So it looks like a traditional lifestyle, but pretty even the traditional people would look weird on us. But yeah, it's all inner ableism and stuff like that you have to like unlearn. It sucks. I'm just searching for the cotton pins so I can unpick them. Here we go. I still feel like working, but I'm not gonna be able to keep on working on pattern just now. But like I said, I'm gonna need my measurements, which I don't feel like taking on camera. I have a pig downstairs. And because I'm gonna need to save the pattern off camera too, if it doesn't fit on my table. Right. Let me go inside. I pick somewhere. I have like 3 of them and I can't find one. Is here? Aha! Alright, I found one. Let's take it slow and do these pants. They don't have a front and a back, so the front is super baggy. And they were too wide, so I folded in the side. And the bottom keeps ripping off. So let's unpick it and transform it into actual drawers. I know I'm probably gonna have enough fabric because these are too wide. I made them to be wide pants and then I gathered them, but like too much gathered. And the fabric is still good, besides the crotch. So what do? We reuse it. Even though I'm not sure where to start. I'm probably not gonna pick all of it tonight. Because, you know, if I was trying to go fast, I would just get the scissors and And since my goal is to keep as much of the fabric intact as possible so I can reuse it, it's gonna be the slow and steady route. I'm very likely to bring it next to my TV and have it as my couch project for the next few days. That's normally what I do when I need to mend clothes. I've been describing my lifestyle to people lately as either being like a retiree or a hobbit. Because I go out like once a week to see people. I go outside and just do my groceries by walking around the neighborhood. I take my morning slow with my coffee and my small breakfast. It's just that instead of being like, I haven't worked 50 years. And like gaming is not something that people who have 50, 60, 70-year-old would do. But I think the pace of a hobbit life is fairly similar. Like, my life isn't about doing anything productive. It's about living. It's about making good food and enjoying it with people I love. It's about wearing clothes that take months to embroider. It's about reading a good book under the sun. It's about enjoying music. And I think a lot of people are would probably be jealous of it. Because it's what capitalism tells us we will get once we're done working. Except when you're done working, you're very likely to just be sick and battered and hurting. gonna be able to do everything you want to do. I mean, I'm already in that state and I'm not even for it. Just joy has been just completely away. And the only thing that matters is money to survive. All the time about money. And you don't get to enjoy anything, even when your days off. If you get days off, because a lot of people need to have more than one job. Life is sad. I don't know if there would be a better way to be. I don't mean that capitalism is bad. It's just that it's become too extreme. It's just that nothing else matters in the grand scheme of things. And yeah, that's sad. That's so sad. You shouldn't finish the week so tired you can't think, and that thinking about going grocery shopping makes you anxious because you haven't gone to rest. Or because you don't have the money to buy eggs. And even me, who's right now pretty well off, otherwise I wouldn't be able to have this rhythm of life. I'm thinking stuff like, we're never gonna be able to retire. I don't think we'll ever get a house. I mean, it's our dream, but I don't think it's gonna happen. We don't have any money aside if something happens to us. But we don't have debt, which is a lot better than a lot of people. But if we had kids, we'd be in trouble. If we had pets and one got sick, we'd probably be in trouble. We've just started being able to afford going to concerts. Maybe travel in our own town. Well, not in our own town, but our own province. We're planning to go this summer for like a week. But you know what? It's gonna be as expensive as going down south. We just don't like being outside in the sun, so we're not going there. That doesn't sound like vacation to us. So if I could have a vacation in an all-included, where I don't have to think about what I need to eat or what activities I could do, I would absolutely do that. Except that's not easily available here, besides going down south with the sun and the beaches, and we don't like the sun and the beaches. I'd go and like a foodie tour or a museum one or even a library one. A library one could be fun. We're thinking of going to Japan, which we've been thinking about for a long time, but that's a lot more expensive than going in the south. We do need to save a bit, and we don't have passports, so we need to get that done. But it was also kind of hard to balance before, because if my job is going to conventions and my boyfriend is with me in conventions, it means I'm spending most of the summer just working in my workshop, and when I'm not in the workshop, we need to be selling. So that's not a vacation for him, nor for me, which still meant we had like the winter one, because there's barely any convention in winter here. But there's not nearly as much things you can do in winter. The roads aren't nearly as safe. So yeah, we had time off, but it didn't ever feel like time off, like vacation. It felt the same way as when you've been fired and you're trying to find a new job. Like that restless feeling of needing money but being stuck home. But this year we're taking steps to do actual vacations. We're gonna be away probably for a week. We haven't decided which week. We'll go and check out museums and small coffee shops. Restaurants. And it will be more expensive than going down south. And we can only afford to do that because I am not making money this year. Because I was trying to book conventions and I didn't get tables. plastic is in better shape than I thought it would be. But I should probably get a new one if I want to do something with it. You can see the puckering. But I've made these pens probably almost 5 years ago, I think. The problem with the way I'm stitching stuff is that I very much like to overstitch everything, which means that every seam is most likely more than one seam. But that means my stuff lasts a long time. So it's not a bad thing, but it's a bad thing when you're trying to unpick it to rescue the fabric to do another project with it. I do. That might help. A bit. Just a bit. And now I've lost my starting point. Of course I did. Here. Let's keep unpicking. Slow and steady. Because we're a grandma, even though we don't have kids. More of an auntie. The weird auntie every family has. That is me. Well, I'm quite happy with that since my dream is to be the weird witch in the forest. The weird auntie is very much that beside the forest. I'm gonna have to iron it out and wash it out to see what's usable once I'm done with it. And the weird part is I'm probably gonna do the shirt first. First, since it's fabric that's already ready to go. That's something I need to unpick. And I need the shirt under my corset a lot more than I need the pants. The pants are good because I'm gonna be wanting them this summer. But the shirts need to be done as soon as possible if I want to wear my corset in the die of heat. I'm gonna have to stop soon, because my hands will start hurting. You know, that's 2 hours more of progress than if I hadn't started streaming. Which is why I'm saying this is very, very slow life. I had coffee, I started assembling a pattern, and that's it. That's the amount of work we're doing today. Because we also took care of the dishwasher. We're probably gonna make food later. Probably gonna get some laundry done. I might do more unpicking of clothes later once my hands have rested a bit. If you have any recommendations for like TV shows, animes, books to read, I'm games. I'm kind of getting tired of media. Like, I don't know what to watch anymore because I consume just so much of it. So if you have something that you think could interest me, just leave a comment somewhere. Probably on YouTube, because this is gonna go on YouTube and it's gonna disappear from everywhere else. Because I've been... like, nothing has been scratching the itch. I've played a bunch of Return to Moria, which is good, but I'm done with including the DLC. Or at least almost done with. But it's to the point where, like, what I could still do is not really interesting. I still have plenty of cozy games. Like I could keep going. Like Tales of the Shire. But I've finished the main story, so that would just be grinding different fishes, trying different recipes, and getting my friendship up, which are the parts that I don't really enjoy in cozy games. I would probably enjoy it more if, like, I had a job and I was using it to relax, but I don't. I could use, like, a survival game, but I like survivals that don't have stress attached to it. Like, not 7 days. I don't want something that's gonna kill me. I just want something where I have to hunt to survive. Or something where I need to craft to survive. I'm thinking of replaying Final Fantasy 15. Since it does have like some cozy elements of just driving around and fishing. But like I need brain power to play it, because there's a lot of choices that you can make in a Final Fantasy, and that's hard on me. Choices are hard on me. Natural progression with the quest system, that's easy. You don't pose any question, you just do whatever the game is telling you to do. Like I've been thinking about redoing Witcher 3 or Horizon Zero, which do have that element of exploring, but also having quests so you always know what's next. I could replay like Zelda, the latest one. The problem is only that I'm not the one who currently has access to the Switch. I've been thinking about maybe playing Power World. Since we do have it. Yeah, I think Power World it is. I know we're gonna get Pokopia soon. But not quite yet. Power World, I think that's what I'm gonna be playing. I didn't feel like it because I need to be playing on the PC, and I'd rather be comfy in my couch. I can set up the PlayStation remote on PC so I can play it on the couch. That would work. Because there's some surviving, there's some crafting, There's a lot of exploring. Stakes aren't super high. I've also been looking into a different gacha game because I did enjoy Genshin for like a year. And then I got tired. Because I hate grinding. I really hate grinding. And you kind of need to optimize your Genshin characters. And yeah. Yeah, that ain't for me. Having to log in every day to get your rewards and then do your dailies so you can keep progressing and optimizing your characters. It ends up feeling like a job quite fast for me. But it still got me like a few years of having fun. And I just saw publicities for NTE, I think, which is also a gacha. I saw that like it's mostly cosmetic stuffs and it's quite playable without having to put money in it. So it does feel like a good option for time sink. I could go back to Guild Wars, but that also needs me to be on PC. Oh, I didn't think I was almost done around. Oh yeah, I also want to do a split skirt or historical split skirt for like my everyday pants when I don't want to be wearing jeans. And I do have some great blue fabric that my sister bought for me. I've been meaning to use it for that, except I just haven't had the time. Well, not haven't had the time, but haven't had the physical energy to put the time on it. Because I technically have more than enough time. My body just won't follow it. because I could put 40 hours of work in a week and I'd be done with all of my lists pretty fast. Except my body only allows me like 15 if I don't want my health declining. Alright, I've rescued one very small piece of fabric that I can probably still use to do a different waistband. I don't know if it's gonna be on this project or a different project, but a waistband is still a waistband. Except the fact that I'm gonna need to wash it and iron it to see what I'm working with. Which is the case for all of this, which is gonna be going back into fabric. I think I might keep the pockets as pockets though, and just transfer them to my new pants. Because, you know, it's already pre-cut. But yeah, I think we should probably stop here. And I'm gonna keep going, doing the other stuff, like I said, off camera. Assembling the different layers of patterns that I need to do on the floor, because it's just too large for my table. And then I have to measure myself, and I'm not super happy doing that on camera as a very plus size person. And then we need to unpick this. So we might see each other next week, but most likely in like 3 weeks, because next week is kind of my week off. Then the week after, I'm not home. Well, I kinda am, but I'm not. It's complicated. And then it's gonna be the week after. So unless I get bored during my week off, I want to come and work on my stuff. Because that's likely, I mean, this is still my hobby. We're gonna see each other in like 3 weeks. Which is fine by me, since this is just a hobby. Hi everyone, thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time.